Barnaby Jones, starring Buddy Ebsen. Also starring Lee Merriweather, with guest stars Fritz Weaver, Harris Yulin, Mario Racuzzo, and Helm. Tonight's episode, Conspiracy of Terror.
So that's the story. I had no real insurance. Nothing. Nothing for Helen and the kids. So it wasn't tough for me to say that Charlotte Sheffield and I were having an affair. And that I killed her in a fit of anger.
But now you say you didn't?
No, Sheffield killed her. I was dying. I had nothing to lose. Lauren Sheffield promised me that if I took the blame, he'd look after my wife and children.
Riley, you know very well that you don't need me for this. If you call a press conference, you'd have your story in the headlines of the morning.
No. I don't want that. Mr. Terrence, the cons here say you can be trusted. Your book,
7 Death Row.
Yeah. You treated those guys right. You gotta promise me you'll do this for me, too.
I'm listening.
I'm keeping up my end of the bargain. I'll do the time. It can't be much longer the way I feel. But I gotta be sure that Sheffield keeps up his end of the deal. And he takes care of Helen and the kids.
What did you want me to do, Riley?
When I'm gone, if he goes back on his word, you can use this story any way you want. But I want the story of Charlotte Sheffield's murder told.
You can count on it. But you'd shake him up a lot more if you told the authorities now.
No. Then Helen would have nothing.
Who's there? How long have you been standing there?
It's okay. Stacy's my cellmate.
Yeah, I just come to tell Riley that he's wanted down to radiology. Didn't mean to interrupt anything.
We'll talk again soon, Riley.
You will do what I ask?
Sure.
Thanks. I don't know exactly why Sheffield killed her. Porter Long didn't come get me until Charlotte had been dead for some time. He said there'd been an accident, that Mr. Sheffield needed my help.
Lauren, let me talk to him first. Why? I have an idea. Just give me 5 minutes. It'll make things a lot easier. All right, Porter. If Stacy Vernon's message is correct, it could mean trouble. I must have that tape.
I was only a stringer, but I worked for Sheffield's paper for over 8 years. It wasn't unusual he'd call me up to the house. I'd been there maybe a dozen times before.
Mr. Terrence, I'm Porter Long. I represent...
Yes, I know who you represent. I'm very busy, Mr. Long.
Well, I'm sorry for intruding at such a late hour. But I understand you received some information regarding Mr. Sheffield today.
There really isn't any point in our fencing words. I know John Riley didn't kill Charlotte Sheffield.
Riley's using you, Mr. Terrence.
Oh?
He wants to get revenge on Lauren. The same reason he went after Charlotte. For some unknown reason, Riley hates Lauren.
I think he has a very good reason indeed.
Well, you must understand how a man in Mr. Sheffield's position, the state senate race in front of him, publicity like this could destroy it.
Oh, yes, it could. It could. You know, I promised Riley that I'd remain silent so long as Sheffield took care of his family. I would never go back on my word. But the thought of Sheffield gaining a foothold in government, well, I just have to fight him another way on that.
I advise against that.
Lauren.
Writer of your experience, Mr. Terrence, must realize that in my position, I can do you a great deal of good.
Or harm. Yes, I'm well aware of the power of the press.
Good. Then we can do business like two civilized men.
I'm afraid your place would be a little too civilized for me, considering what Riley has already told me.
I knew Charlotte was dead the minute I saw her. Sheffield never turned a hair. He asked me to cover up her murder the same way you'd ask for a second cup of coffee.
Leave it alone, Sheffield.
Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. I can't allow this to be held over my head.
I warn you, this is loaded. Now put the tape on the desk.
Perhaps we could work something out.
The only reason I haven't gone to the police is my promise to Riley. Now put it down. Now don't tempt me and get out of here, both of you.
He's dead. Put him back up in his chair.
What are you doing?
Everybody knows writers are emotionally unstable. Look, like a simple case of suicide.
Don't you see, Mr. Jones, there's no reason for Jeffrey to commit suicide.
I've never heard of a good reason for suicide. I'm more interested in why he wouldn't.
Jeffrey celebrated life. He reveled in the challenge of it.
So did Hemingway.
Mr. Jones, I agented the sale of Jeffrey's first book. And I was there when he won his Pulitzer. I knew him better than anyone.
I'm sure you did, but if he didn't kill himself, we're talking about murder. And that's a pretty strong medicine to be taking without a prescription.
Okay, I know it isn't evidence. And you'll probably say it's frivolous.
Try me, Miss Meyer.
All right. You've probably read about the grand parties Jeffrey liked to throw. Oh, he loved them. About the only thing he loved more was going to someone else's. And this Friday, we were to fly to London for the Duke's costume ball. Jeffrey had already selected his outfit.
And you figure he wouldn't be caught dead missing that?
Exactly. An ugly death like this, never. It's an embarrassment he'd never impose on himself. Or anyone else.
What about his writing? Was he working on a book?
Nearly finished. And planning another after that. Well, the day he died, he called me. All excited. It was something about an interview with an inmate at state prison. Suicide was the last thing on his mind.
Well, I must admit, he doesn't sound like a man who was thinking of taking his own life. But puzzle is, if he didn't, who did?
Well, now, that's why I want you to take the case. To find out.
Well, Miss Meyer, it sounds a little more like a challenge than an offer. Nevertheless, I'll take you up on it.
Oh, by the way, I hope you all understand, gentlemen and ladies, forgive me, Bertha. I hope you all understand that I want any mention of the candidacy held at a very low key. I mean, it's hardly proper if the Sheffield media toot the Sheffield horn too loud and too long. We don't want a backlash vote.
Well, then you want us to hold a low profile until your candidacy is announced officially.
Not too low, though. I still want to get elected. Frank, I never tried to influence your column, now did I? But a kind word from you wouldn't hurt.
You forget, Lauren, I'm incorruptible.
Oh, yes. I forgot. That's the very word I had in mind. Ah, darling. You look lovely. Thank you all for coming. Frank.
Are you sure, Lauren, there isn't another announcement you want to tell me about?
You forget, Bertha, I'm a recent widower. And for now, at least, a confirmed bachelor. But I promise if I change my mind, you'll have an exclusive.
Now, I'll hold you to that.
Silk against satin, smooth all the way.
Not if this Terrence thing blows up in our faces.
How can it? We've destroyed the tape.
What if Riley should decide to talk to someone else?
You better make sure he understands what will happen if he does. I want no slip-ups. Not now.
Note here in the apex, John. It appears to be much clearer than it was a month ago.
Does that mean I'm getting better?
John, I don't want to build your hopes up unduly, but yes. The carcinoma has definitely entered a state of remission. What's the matter? I thought you'd be pleased.
If you don't mind, I'd like to be alone for a while, okay?
Take all the time you want.
Mr. Riley?
Yes?
Barnaby Jones. Took an awful lot of talking and paper signing to get in here to see you. This place is tougher to get into than Fort Knox.
It's even tougher to get out of. Mr. Jones, didn't you get my message? I really don't know anything about Jeffrey Terrence that you can use.
Well, there's just a couple of details that I need. Mr. Terrence's agent was very anxious to find out exactly what he was working on at the time of his death.
Well, best of my memory, all he did was ask me general questions. How I reacted to prison, stuff like that. I guess he thought since I'd been a newspaper man, I could articulate it better than most.
And it was Mr. Terrence who asked for the interview?
Yes. Why do you ask?
Well, you newspaper people need a nose for news. Detective just needs a nose. One of the guards told me that he saw Mr. Terrence tape recording your conversation.
Yes, I suppose he did. I wasn't having a very good day.
Remember any of the questions?
Mr. Jones, I'm sorry. I don't even remember my answers. The doctor said that it was because of the medication I was receiving.
Yeah, sometimes your memory deserts you at odd moments. I remember once I was introducing my mother-in-law to a group of people, and I said, folks, I want you to meet my mother-in-law, Mrs. Couldn't remember her name. Believe me, I remembered it after that. Well, we should have no trouble finding that tape among Mr. Terrence's things. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Well, one more thing. On the day of the interview, did Mr. Terrence exhibit any signs of thinking of suicide?
No. Of course, all my years as a newspaper man, I never met anyone who could say when a man on a ledge was going to jump.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Unless, of course, the man was pushed. Thank you, Mr. Riley.
I hope you decided to use your head in there, Riley.
Use my head?
Well, those friends of yours, they're my friends now. That lawyer Port along got for me a couple of months ago, he's springing me tomorrow.
Hey, I'm very happy for you, Stacy.
Stay happy, then. Don't get any more ideas about opening up your mouth like you did with Terrence, huh? Otherwise, your family's had it.
Vernon!
Long said to remind you that most accidents take place in the home. You know, there's no telling what could happen if they weren't around to keep an eye on the kids. You think about it.
Find anything on the Riley interview?
No. I'll say this for Mr. Terrence. I've never seen such organized material.
Oh, that was Jeffrey's forte as a writer. Completely organized. Ultimate attention to the smallest detail.
You can say that again. Look at these cassettes.
I have been for hours. Every one of them. Everything neatly labeled and cataloged.
That's not what I mean. Every single cassette had a full left spool on side one. It means that they were all rewound, and not one of them was taken off the machine in the middle of play.
Doesn't that just mean that Mr. Terrence kept his materials ready to use?
Well, I think it tells us a little more than that. Unless we can find one cassette that was ejected before it was rewound, we know there's one missing.
Well, there shouldn't be. Nothing's been touched since Jeffrey's body was found.
Well, that's what troubles me. The counter on the recorder here reads 462, but there's no cassette.
And if Mr. Terrence had rewound that tape the way he did all of the others, then the counter would read 0.
Right. The last tape he was working on was removed in the middle of its play.
The Riley interview.
Well, since that's the one we can't find, that's a pretty good bet.
What puzzles me is why anyone would want that interview tape badly enough to kill Jeffrey. You know, if I'd had any idea that Riley's letter to Jeffrey would have led to this.
You mean Riley asked for the interview?
Yes, of course. Why?
He told me it was the other way around.
Then he lied. Riley pleaded for that interview. A dying man Jeffrey couldn't refuse.
I kind of thought that Riley wasn't revealing everything he knew. Makes you kind of wonder what was really on that interview tape.
Small chance. If Riley doesn't tell you, there's no one left to ask.
There may be one. Stacy Vernon, Riley's cellmate, gets out of prison today. A high-priced lawyer named Scovall got him out on a technicality. Betty, would you see if you can find out who hired Mr. Scovall?
I'll get right on it. Oh, where are you going to be?
Well, I think that Miss Meyer and I are going to try to give a helping hand to Mr. Vernon on his road to rehabilitation.
Stacy Vernon?
Yeah. Barnaby Jones is my name. Miss Meyer and I thought you'd probably need a lift into town. If things work out right, you could make a few dollars in the bargain.
Well, what are you talking about?
Well, get in. We'll explain.
Hey, I sure appreciate you stopping. You know, for 2 years, I dreamt about one of these things. It's funny, huh? Not chicks or booze or cars.
If you accept Miss Meyer's proposition, you'll have the money for the whole list.
Come on, I don't know nothing about writing.
You don't have to. I can get someone to handle that. What I'm interested in is the information that Jeffrey Terrence received in his interview with John Riley. So if you could recall something, it could be extremely valuable.
How valuable?
Since it's possible, we could get a book out of it. Let's say $10,000 for your fee.
Let's say 25,000.
All right, 25,000. What's the matter?
I think Mr. Vernon is having trouble adjusting to the rarefied atmosphere.
Yeah, I sure am. Lady, I don't know nothing about what you want. I wish I did.
But you said...
First day madness. All ex-cons get it. Hey, listen, I think I'm gonna walk from here. I got some thinking I want to do. Thanks for the ride and the hamburger.
You know where to reach us if you remember anything.
Well, what did I do wrong?
The good thing you're a literary agent, not a private detective. You would raise the overhead something terrible.
Well, I just thought if the amount were high enough, he'd have to tell us.
The trouble with inflation is it makes a seller's market. If Vernon has anything, he'll shop it around. Then I think we'll hear from him.
It wasn't very smart of you to come here like this. Could have been seen.
Don't mean to trouble you, Mr. Sheffield. It's just that after Mr. Long got me that lawyer and all, well, I wanted to thank you. Had no idea I'd get out so fast.
Truthfully, neither did I.
Yeah, well, things are sure going my way now. I even got an offer to write a book.
What kind of book?
Audrey Meyer, Mr. Terrence's agent, offered me $25,000. Seems to think there's a book in the information that Riley gave Terrence. She and a detective named Jones met me when I got out.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hold on, Porter. Let Stacy make his point.
Well, since she seems to think it's going to be a bestseller, and knowing Mr. Sheffield here was in the publishing business...
You're talking blackmail.
No, I never mentioned that. I just wanted to give Mr. Sheffield first crack.
How much?
Well, let's say you were to double that agent's offer. $50,000.
$50,000? I don't have that kind of money in the house.
Take a down payment for starters.
That's fair enough. Porter? Coffee, Mr. Vernon.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
$2,000.
I'm afraid this will have to do till we can arrange for the rest. You call when you're located.
Sure, sure. Listen, it was nice doing business with you guys. For a while there, I thought you might take it wrong.
Oh, no, not at all. No, I admire a man who recognizes his assets and uses them. Good day, Mr. Vernon. Get rid of him.
Lauren, I can't just kill someone. I mean, Terrence's death couldn't be helped. And Charlotte, well, I can understand how in anger
She embarrassed me with her drunken indiscretions. She was determined to stand in the way of everything I've ever worked for. I couldn't allow that any more than I will allow Vernon.
But you're talking about cold, premeditated murder. I mean, I'm no saint.
Then do what I ask you. If you can't kill Vernon, get somebody else, but see that it's taken care of tonight.
No, John never mentioned Jeffrey Terrence to me, but then, the way things are, we don't talk much when I visit, Mr. Jones. We just touch and hope and pray.
Yes, I can understand that. Mrs. Riley, did your husband ever tell you the full story of Charlotte Sheffield's murder?
I think he knew it wouldn't do him any good.
How so?
After 15 years, a woman knows some things about the man that she's lived with. I mean, John would never have had an affair with that woman.
Since your husband was convicted of killing his wife, doesn't Mr. Sheffield's generosity seem a little strange?
I think, after everything that's happened, Mr. Jones, I'm the last person that you should ask for a judgment like that.
Have you spoken to your husband's doctor lately?
No, I haven't. John asked me not to. He said he didn't want me counting the days.
Well, he might not mind so much now, because according to the doctor, there are going to be a lot more days to count, maybe even years.
But then why didn't John tell me that?
Sometimes good news kind of sticks in the throat when you can't put your arms around the one you want to tell it to.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Okay, baby, just a second. Be patient, baby, be patient. You're 15 minutes early. When Daddy says 8:30, he means 8:30.
Stacy Vernon?
Yeah.
Ah.
Barnaby, what brought you here? Just dropped by to make a reservation?
Nope. Looks like this motel could be hazardous to your health. What does the coroner make it, Lieutenant?
Suicide. Could be first-day blues. Vernon just got out of the slammer yesterday.
Yeah, I know. He wasn't exactly dressed for walking off a balcony. Any sign of a first-night girlfriend?
Bellhop said she arrived about 45 minutes late. When Vernon didn't answer the door, they figured he got drunk and passed out. Gardner found him this morning.
Drank that much?
Enough, judging from the bottles in his room. You still haven't told me what you're doing here.
Well, your office told me where I'd find you, and then I realized we had an interest in common. My client offered Vernon a lot of money yesterday for a little information.
He didn't take it?
I think he put it out for bids. One thing for sure, he's too smart a con to take himself out this way. If I run onto anything, I'll give you a call.
Barnaby Jones' office. May I help you?
It's me, Betty.
Oh, Barnaby, you caught me halfway out of the elevator. You may owe me a pair of new hose.
I'll buy you 2 pair of new hose if you help me. Stacy Vernon was dead when I got here.
Oh, I was just talking about him a few minutes ago.
Did you get anything?
Maybe. I managed to have lunch with one of the younger members of the Scoville law firm. It took some doing, but he finally told me that Vernon's legal fees were paid by a man named Porter Long.
Porter Long. Am I supposed to know that name?
Porter Long is Lauren Sheffield's right-hand man. And Lauren Sheffield is...
I know who Lauren Sheffield is. Thanks, Betty. Go out and buy yourself a whole box of new hose.
You shouldn't have spent the money on this.
Oh, John. Lisa told me to tell you that she got the lead in Antigone.
Antigone?
with braces on her teeth. That'll be something. How's Greg?
He's fine. He got quarterback on his football team. John, why didn't you tell me
What?
that you're getting well?
Who said that?
Mr. Jones, and I talked to your doctors.
Well, you shouldn't have. It won't change anything.
John, it would if you would let it. Mr. Jones says that you're not telling everything you know about Jeffrey Terrence's death.
I don't care what Mr. Jones says.
Well, it all has to do with Charlotte Sheffield's murder, doesn't it?
Stop it, Helen. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
Oh, darling, don't you understand? If there's any time at all, a day it belongs to Craig and Elisa and to me. You belong to us, John.
Helen. Believe me, if there was anything I could do to get out of here, to be with you and the kids, I'd do anything. I'd say anything. I love you, Helen.
Mr. Jones is investigating the death of Jeffrey Terrence.
What is it I can do for you, Mr. Jones?
The problem is every lead I get takes me back to Riley. I was hoping you might be able to provide me with some information.
I'm sure my personnel department can give you more than I can.
Well, funny, I thought you two were good friends.
Why is that?
Well, I talked to Mrs. Riley, and she told me that you had been continuing to pay Mr. Riley's salary. Now, that seems very generous in light of the situation.
Mr. Jones, my wife was not a very discreet woman. John Riley was not the first man to share a bottle with her or her affections. Porter, maybe Mr. Jones would like something.
No, thank you. Then you don't blame Mr. Riley?
At first I did. Charlotte was the kind of woman who could drive a man to kill. Any man.
Does that include you, Mr. Sheffield?
Mr. Jones, if I may interrupt, it's company policy to take care of the families of employees.
Was Stacy Vernon an employee?
Vernon?
He was Mr. Riley's cellmate. Mr. Long went to great expense and trouble to get him out.
Porter became interested in his case while visiting Riley. I was glad we could be of help.
Too bad Vernon didn't live to enjoy his freedom. He died last night.
Oh, that's too bad. Mr. Jones, I'm afraid I've let the time slip up on us. Unless you have some more questions?
Well, just one. Were you acquainted with Mr. Terrence?
No, though I confess I was an admirer of his work.
Well, I was hoping you might be able to tell me why someone would steal a tape of his interview with Riley.
No, I'm sorry I can't help you. But I'm sure a man of your resources will find the answer ultimately.
Oh, I will. It's kind of like learning to play the guitar by ear. You just keep plucking all the strings until you find the right notes. Thank you, gentlemen.
Jones, you're wasting your time. I don't really feel up to answering any more questions.
You're looking a lot better to me. Did you hear what happened to Stacy Vernon?
They let us watch television.
Did you know it was Lauren Sheffield that got him out?
What do you want? I'm very grateful to Mr. Sheffield. After what I did, you know the whole story.
All but a part of it. Why would a man like you, in your state of health, go after a woman like Charlotte Sheffield?
Maybe I wanted just one last fling.
That's not much of an answer, especially in view of the hell it put your family through. Your wife doesn't believe it, neither do I.
Well, you're just gonna have to live with it.
Or die with it, like Jeffrey Terrence. He tried to help too, didn't he?
Look, I'm not asking you for help.
But you did ask Terrence. His agent remembers your letter. Riley, I can understand why prison doesn't hold much terror for a man who knows he's dying, especially if a few months behind bars will provide for his wife and children after he's gone.
You finished, Jones?
Not quite. The doctors tell me that those months could be years now. A small lifetime.
Look, I know what I've done.
And why don't you tell me the truth the way I believe you told Terrence?
I'm a dead man. Don't you see that? I learned to live with that a long time ago. Even if the doctors are right, nothing I can say is going to change that. I'm a dead man. Don't you understand that?
Without hope, none of us would be alive.
You missed your calling, Jones. You should write epitaphs.
I'm just dying to make the announcement about you two.
What'd you say? Should we let it out?
Let's.
All right. Listen, Bertha, nothing formal. Just a little tidbit or two about how well my relationship with Miss Mason is coming along, okay?
I'll have a scotch, please.
Yeah, to me.
You know, Frank, I just may have an exclusive for your column tomorrow.
What's the matter? One of your pen pals needs some free space?
Jeffrey Terrence never had to beg for space when he was alive.
Oh, I'm sorry. The sad news is that he's yesterday's news now.
Not if that detective I hired, Barnaby Jones, is right. He thinks he's unlocked the mystery surrounding Jeffrey's death.
Meanwhile, he committed suicide?
No. Jones thinks it was murder. Well, it seems Jeffrey had made some notes on the project he was working on, and Jones found them this afternoon. The only problem is, though, they were in Jeffrey's personal shorthand, but Jones says in time he can decipher it. As a matter of fact, he's over at Jeffrey's place working on them right now. He says he should have the answer in just a few hours.
You join?
Yes, but give me some more of that.
Oh, well, we'll talk about it later, Frank. Drink your drink.
How could I know he made notes from that tape?
Well, you'll just have to get in touch with your friend and see they're destroyed, won't you? Have him take care of Jones while you're at it.
Maybe you should reconsider, Lauren. Maybe there's nothing incriminating in the notes.
Do as I tell you, Porter. This time, see that it's final.
Hold it. You are Barnaby Jones.
I don't recall that we were ever introduced, but we might have a mutual acquaintance. Stacy Vernon.
Everybody's got a job to do.
He did a very professional one on him.
Shut up. Back away. I don't understand. There's no writing on here.
On the other paper. Just stay right where you are.
All right, Barnaby. We'll take them here.
Would you mind telling me why you took a chance like that? You knew I had my men closing in.
Well, I was afraid the long arm of the law had developed bursitis, and he didn't look like he was going to wait.
I think I recognize the face. Mr. Trumbull, isn't it? Radio's right.
Never mind that. I don't speak to nobody until I see my lawyer.
Give him his rights, take him downtown and book him. Now, they're all jailhouse lawyers these days. Sorry, Barnaby. It looks like you struck out.
I wouldn't say that. More like a foul tip.
Something's gone wrong. You should have heard something by now.
Relax. Set yourself a man as a professional. If he's as good as you say he is, then he...
Oh, Mr. Jones.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Sheffield.
Well, I really don't know. Just a second, Mr. Jones.
It's all right, Porter. Well, come on in, won't you? Can I get you a glass of brandy?
No, thank you. I'd only planned to stay a few minutes.
What can I do for you?
Well, I thought you might be interested in some of the reading I was doing tonight. It's very enlightening, especially if you want to include that Trumbull fellow you had drop in on me.
Trumbull? Know anyone named Trumbull?
Well, possibly he was a friend of Mr. Long's. The police will decide that.
The police?
Yes, they should be here shortly. I thought it'd be helpful to one of you if we had this little talk first.
What are you driving at?
Well, one of you can get off on a charge of accessory, but I suspect that Mr. Sheffield will choose that option because he has a history of letting his hired help take his punishment for him.
You're fishing, Mr. Jones?
I don't think John Riley would say I'm fishing, not now. I think you ought to have a talk with Mr. Riley and Mr. Long. You might find you have a lot in common. After all, you were the last person standing between Mr. Sheffield and the police. You may have to become the patsy for Mr. Terrence's death.
I didn't kill Terrence.
Well, what about Stacy Vernon? Trumbull didn't do that by himself.
Be quiet, Porter. Mr. Jones, if there are any charges to be filed against Porter, be advised he will have the full weight of Sheffield Enterprises behind him.
That's very impressive. You think you can stay afloat with that load on your back?
No. Lauren, I'm not going to let you do to me what you did to Riley. It's over. Any deal I make from now on is for myself.
Can't say I'm really disappointed in you, Porter. Your gun, Mr. Jones. Stand over there.
This isn't going to help you any, Mr. Sheffield.
Like Porter, you lack imagination. You came here tonight because an attempt was made on your life by a man hired by Porter Long.
Police will never believe that.
Well, I've never met Trumbull. You hired him. When Jones confronted you with it, you panicked. You tried to kill Mr. Jones, and he was forced to shoot you with this gun. But not before you got off a fatal shot yourself.
You're forgetting about Mr. Riley.
When the police look into Porter's motive, I'm sure Riley could be persuaded to reveal that it was Porter who killed Charlotte. Porter, over against the bar.
All right, wait a minute. Lauren. I'll take the rap. Whatever you want.
Now you're being sensible.
Sheffield! I only miss when I want to. Operator, this is an emergency. Get me the police.
Barnaby Jones, a Quinn Martin production, starring Buddy Ebsen. Also starring Lee Merriweather, Mark Shera, with guest stars Dee Wallace, John Delancey, Elliot Street. Tonight's episode, Terror on a Quiet Afternoon.
Hello? Oh, hi, Daddy. I was going to call you right before I went to bed. How is it up there in, what does the TV weatherman call it, the high desert?
Low desert, high desert, all hospitals are the same, jails. And if you don't get up here soon with my medical records, I'm going to go stir crazy.
Now, you're going to have to stay there for at least a couple more weeks, so you might as well just hang in there. I'll be up Saturday with your records, okay?
What's all that racket I hear? You babysitting that dog again?
No, Mrs. Roberts is a little hard of hearing, and obviously her little poodle is on the loose for the upteenth time. Look, I'll see you Saturday, okay?
Okay. Love you.
I love you, too. Bye. Coco? Coco? Coco, it's Amy. Come here. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here, baby. It's okay. It's Amy. Come here. Coco, are you here? Please don't do this to me. I'm not going to play with you anymore. It's too dark in here.
Then let there be light.
God, you again.
Sure, it's me. Who else loves you enough to lead a dog's life?
You!
Hey, Amy, you are fantastic.
Get away from me!
Take it easy. Take it easy. I was just trying to get your attention. I didn't think you'd get this scared.
You didn't think I'd... Then you're out of your mind and you ought to be locked up.
Oh, Amy.
Don't Amy me. What do I have to do to make you stay away from me, huh? What?
Just get off your high horse and start going out with me. Hey, I'm not that much of an ogre.
Oh, you're worse than that. And if you don't leave me alone, I'm going to go to the police again.
You don't want to go through that embarrassment again, do you? They're just going to say what they said the first time. The police have no jurisdiction in the affairs of the heart.
Then I'll do something myself. I'll do something terrible if you don't leave me alone.
Like what? Kill me? You want to kill me? All right. Here. Here, come on. Cut me right along here. I'll prove to you how much I love you. Come on, if it makes you happy, right along here. Come on. Come on. Do it. Parting is such sweet sorrow. But I'll see you in the bank tomorrow.
Gotta shake a leg, Betty. That court convenes in 30 minutes.
Right. Thank heavens it's Friday so that we can have the weekend to finish up the paperwork before the case resumes on Monday.
I think you get that report finished by Monday?
No problem at all, Barnaby. I just wish I was going with you, you know? I could try out some of the new angles I've been learning in law school.
Well, from my experience in court, I've found that it's better to just show up with the facts and let the lawyers trip over the angles.
Hello. May we help you?
I was hoping to speak to someone about a problem I've got.
And your name is?
Amy Vickers.
Oh, Miss Vickers, we're doing court in 30 minutes. I'm sorry, but what was the nature of the problem?
There's a man who's been hounding me, won't let me alone.
You've been to the police?
They say there's nothing they can do to help me until he actually breaks the law and I can prove it.
Well, I'm sorry that we're in such a hurry. Why don't you talk to my associate, Jedediah Jones? He has a peculiar way of coming up with helpful angles.
Would you like to sit down? Okay. What's it all about?
His name's Mitchell Grady II. You know the Grady Construction Company? That's his financial statement and his life history.
Where did you get this?
He gave them to me the first day I met him at the bank where I'm a teller.
And you mean he just gave you his financial statement?
Yes, he was waiting for me after work one day. And he said he wanted to know all about me, and he wanted me to know all about him.
Well, what did you say to that?
Well, we had a cup of coffee, and I realized that was a mistake. So I tried to discourage him, but he just laughed and said that he had made up his mind to share my life. And he has ever since.
Are you sure you want him to stop?
Sorry I bothered you.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Look. Miss Vickers. There is very little I know about you except that you're a pretty lady with nice eyes. I mean, I have to know exactly where you're coming from before I'm going to help you. You understand?
I guess I don't blame you for that. Sometimes I don't even think it's happening to myself. But my phone rings every morning to remind me that it is. And I go to the window and look out, and he's across the street calling me from a phone in his car. And I just want to crawl back in bed and stay there. Because I know wherever I go, he's going to be there, watching and listening and talking to me and almost touching me.
Okay, I get the picture. Does he send you letters?
He used to, and gifts too. But I sent him back all unopened, so he finally stopped.
Well, that's too bad, because it's a very strong foundation for a civil suit.
I can't wait for a lawsuit.
Well, you may have to. But in the meantime, I think we can try a more direct approach. Come.
I'm going to be a while if you guys have anything you want to do.
No, it's okay, Mitch. We'll keep on tap.
It's 20, 10, 5. Have a good day.
Afraid I was unable to prepare my deposit, Miss Vickers. As you know, I was out rather late last night.
Please don't do this to me.
Do what? This is what banks do, isn't it? Taking deposits? Are you telling me you want me to take my money to a different bank?
No, that's fine.
My business here is going to take some time. I suggest that you try another window. Now, I'm just trying to be helpful. I'd hate to see you lose your job again. So while we're talking, I thought that maybe you could be busy counting my money. Now, you just listen. Because what I'm going to tell you is going to change your life. Up until now, it has been strictly one way between us. All give and no take. But then, last night, when I saw you in that hallway, wearing that nightgown,
Stop it.
I realized how easy it would be to stop giving and just take.
Please, get away from me, please.
Everything all right, Mr. Grady?
Oh, yeah, I was just apologizing to Miss Vickers for not having my deposit tallied.
Nonsense. There's nothing the bank likes more than counting its customers' money. Have you had a chance to take a look at that real estate proposal I gave you yesterday?
No, I haven't laid a glove on it yet, but I'll try to get to it this weekend.
No hurry.
Now, as I was saying, up until now, it has been all tease and no please. But that's going to change next time I get you alone.
Your total deposit comes to $1,215.30.
That's funny. It's not what I got.
You said you hadn't counted it.
I'm sorry, but you're just going to have to count it over again. I guess I lost track when your employer was talking to me. Now, as I was saying, just picture the two of us. You and me, up in my cabin. We could be wearing that nightgown that you had on last night. I'm going to be doing this. Come on now.
Luis, you're going to have to take care of him. I'm sorry, Mr. Taylor. I'm not feeling very well.
Look, I'm in a hurry. You just mail me the receipt, okay?
Amy! What did he say to you?
I can't repeat it.
Not bad, huh?
Can't you do something?
Amy, we need proof and we need witnesses. Look, we'll figure something out, okay?
She go to the park again?
Check. Mitch, you ought to be up to here trucking around after her. Why don't you dump her?
Why don't you clean your fingernails, Kurt? So at least people won't know you're a mechanic until you open your mouth.
You better start making some points with Mitch. You're gonna be back greasing bulldozers at Grady Construction.
Yeah, well, at least I can earn a buck if I have to. You never done anything but wash out of school and leech off Mitch.
My friend wouldn't have it any other way.
He sees you. What do we do now?
I think maybe it's time I talk to him.
Who's he? What's he doing here?
Name is J.R. Jones. I'm with the Jones Investigative Agency. I think you should know that Miss Vickers is planning to file a civil suit for an injunction against you.
Yeah, I suppose that's your idea.
Yeah, that's my idea. And in the meantime, if you bother her again, I'll definitely put a stop to it. So why don't you just bug off? Now stay away from Miss Vickers, Grady. Before there's real trouble. Come on.
Mitch, you all right? What happened? Well, who's he?
He is some sort of private detective. J.R. Jones.
You want us to get him?
No. Not now. I will pick the time and I will pick the place.
You know, Barnaby keeps telling me there's more to do on a Saturday than sleep till noon. I think he's right.
Yeah, is he going to understand about yesterday? Spending all day as a bodyguard?
Well, he ought to. He's seen the body.
Look, I don't want you to waste your whole Saturday running family errands with little old me.
Objection overruled.
I'm going to be perfectly all right. I will lock the car and roll up the windows, and I'll be home before dark.
Motion denied.
On what grounds?
I don't have any plans today. I have nothing to do except a report I can finish for Barnaby tomorrow morning. I like being with you, you know.
Nice try. Now, what's the real reason?
All right. There's this restaurant, you know, this terrific little restaurant on the way to Santa Carlita, and Barnaby and I always hit it on the way up there, and I'm starving. Come on, what do you say?
Okay.
Huh?
Thanks. I can't tell you how nice it is to walk out here and not see Grady waiting to follow me.
Yeah, well, don't thank me yet. I mean, I know it's good news he didn't show up last night or this morning, but I think it's too soon to write him off, you know.
Hey, Amy, where are you going? The barbecue's about to start. You don't have to bring anything, just your foxy friend.
Oh, sorry, Linda, but JR's driving me up to take some medical records to my dad.
But you still have to eat lunch.
Well, listen, how about a rain check? Because we just have enough time to stop and eat on the way, okay?
Sounds cozy. Well, say hi to your dad for me.
Sure. See ya.
Bye.
Operator, go ahead on that call, please.
Grady residence. Yeah? What's he look like?
It's that private eye you tangled with yesterday. Looks like they're heading for the freeway.
Follow him, Felix. We're going to be heading out to join you.
Check.
We'll phone you for directions as soon as we get out on the road. Oh, and Felix, you lose him, and you can park that rig by the side of the road and take the next bus out of town.
Sure thing, Grady.
Come on, Mr. America, let's get in gear.
It's not in your office, not in the files. So unlike Jedediah to take an important piece of paper home with him.
Of course, he had no idea the client was going to call a meeting for tomorrow morning. As far as he knows, we don't need the report until court convenes on Monday. Well, it looks as though JR has decided that this is the one Saturday he is not going to sleep in.
The name of that young lady that was in here yesterday, Amy...
Amy Vickers, I think she said.
There's one sure way of getting Jedediah out of bed early on a weekend. It's a beautiful young damsel in distress.
Right you are. I'll see if information has her listed.
Hello?
I wonder, do I have the right place to speak to Amy Vickers?
Yeah, you have the right place. Amy lives here, but she's not here right now. Let me have you talk to her girlfriend, Linda Parker. Hey, Linda, want to play 20 questions?
Hi. Hello, this is Betty Jones of the Jones Investigative Agency. We're looking for an Amy Vickers.
She's on her way to Santa Carlita.
Was she with an attractive, dark-haired young man named of J.R.?
Yeah, that fits. I think I'm in love with him.
Do you have any idea where they're going once they're in Santa Carlita?
Sure. Amy's taking some medical records to her dad. He's in the hospital there, Midland, I think. His name's George.
Any idea of when they left?
11-ish. I was just about to start the barbecue, but they had plans to eat someplace on the way.
Well, thank you very much. You've been most helpful.
It's a pleasure.
An hour and a half to drive to Santa Carlita, head on another hour for lunch.
We should be there 1:30.
See if you can get Mr. Vickers on the phone at the hospital. Ask him to be good enough to tell Jedediah to call us as soon as he gets there.
They've been in here almost an hour. Yeah, I could use some lunch myself.
Later, when you've earned it.
Huh? Did I tell you?
Oh. Yes, well, I'm not a real big fan of peach cobbler, but theirs was great.
You know, you're a terrific lunch date. How about dinner?
Sure, when?
Tonight.
Never thought you'd ask.
How did you get interested in interior decorating?
The houses I grew up in.
Fancy, huh?
Early basic, especially after my mother died. Between me and his work, my dad didn't have too much time for frills.
How long till you get your degree?
1 more year. It's sort of slow going when you have to work days. What's the matter?
Don't panic, but we've got company.
Oh, Grady, I don't believe it!
I'm gonna try and lose him.
Oh, it's not gonna do any good. He's a car freak. Those things have high-powered engines.
Yeah, well, it's worth a try.
Come on, we just want to talk to you. Come on.
Hold on.
JR, no!
Look, if they want action, they're gonna get it.
Hey, come on. Hey! Come on, boy. I'll pick you up for free here.
Listen, there's 3 of them. I saw a cabin coming up the road over that way someplace. If we can get there, we can call the police. Please? Please?
All right, let's go.
Come on.
Call the operator. Ask for the sheriff. Grady stepped over the line. He's breaking laws now.
Operator, give me the sheriff.
Looks like we really shook him up, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, can we get some lunch now?
No. Go and cut those telephone lines before they call the police.
Oh, hey, that's right.
Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
What happened?
Deputy answered and cut me off. Hello, Sheriff. Listen, we're in this cabin by Santa Carlita, and there are 3 men who are after us. Hello? 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 Cut us off.
No. The line is dead. One of Grady's guys got it.
Grady! You've had your fun. Now let's talk before somebody gets hurt.
So what do we do now? Anything we want to do.
Why don't we split?
If you knew anything about military history, you'd know that the best generals never retreated when they had the advantage.
Right. What if they got a call off to the cops before we pulled the wire out?
Don't be stupid. If they had, our friend Jones wouldn't be so anxious to talk. Nah. Can't you see? This is the perfect place, and this is the perfect time.
I'm scared, JR.
Take it easy. What can happen on a quiet Saturday afternoon, huh?
He's insane. He's never gonna let us go.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vickers, but we haven't heard from him. Matter of fact, I was hoping this call might be from Jedediah.
As I told your secretary earlier, Amy said she'd be here at 1:30, and it's now almost 3.
Well, maybe they stopped to admire the view. You know, young people sometimes lose track of time.
Not Amy. She's very punctual, and she knows that my doctor is here waiting for the records that she's bringing.
I see.
The hospital called the local sheriff's office, and there was a bad accident on the highway about 12:30, but it turned out to be a truck and a motorhome. Mr. Jones, I don't know what to do next.
Well, I think you've done all you can do from a hospital bed. I'll take over from here, and we'll contact you just as soon as we locate Amy. Oh, one other thing. Mr. Vickers, I want you to know that Amy could not be out with a more responsible young man than Jedediah. They could have had car trouble. Long stretches of road up there with no telephone.
What about houses?
It's cabin country, weekend fishing, but not this time of year.
Are you driving up there?
Yes, I thought I might. There's a restaurant between here and there, the Oak Tree Inn. Set a dish of their peach cobbler in front of Jedediah, and he's in hog heaven.
You're worried, aren't you?
No, I just like to have that paper before the meeting tomorrow. Call you later.
Might as well forget it. I'm not going to leave you here alone with him.
Amy, look, we've got to play percentages here. Now, if they see you get away, they'll know you're coming back with the police. They're not going to hang around here chasing me.
What if they catch you?
What if it gets dark while we sit here arguing?
I asked you first.
You know what to do. You be careful, okay?
Here goes Jones.
Get him!
Hey, man, hold it. It's a trick. He should be heading back to the car. She's trying to slip. Come on.
Amy, it's me. It didn't work. I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter. The car wouldn't start anyway. We better get back to the cabin.
All right, come on.
Hold it!
All right, look. So far, it's all been for laughs, but the joke is over. Now, you keep this up and somebody gets hurt, you're going to be facing prison sentences.
Maybe you're right. So why don't you run off like a good little boy and let me drive the lady home?
Nobody touches this girl.
You can't take all three of us, even with a knife.
Stay away from her. Just stay away from her. Go on. Go on!
Felix, get the carbine in the work rig. There's a box of ammo there, too.
Don't mess around with the gun, Mitch.
What do you mean? He pulled a knife on me. Besides, he's holding a lady against her will. Come on.
I think he's just trying to scare us.
I think he's succeeding.
Well, I don't want any part of this. I'm cutting out.
You want to walk? You gonna walk? Well, before you leave, I want you to leave me my clothes and my shoes and everything else that's mine. You're bought and paid for, Kurt.
Okay.
Barnaby Jones Investigations. May I help you?
Hello, Betty. I'm at the restaurant. One of the waitresses here recognized Jedediah from his picture. She said that he and Amy left here at 1 o'clock. Have you heard from Amy's father?
No, I've just talked to the doctor. They've had no word. And he said that the anxiety is not helping Mr. Vickers' condition.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, at least I've narrowed it down to the 15 miles between here and the hospital. Maybe when I see him, I'll have some good news for him.
Oh, I hope so. Please call me the minute you find them.
Yes, I will.
It's off season up here, so if anybody sees smoke, they'll report it to the authorities and they'll send somebody over to check it out.
What's the water for?
All right, what's this? Abracadabra.
You a magician or a firebug?
Would you believe a Boy Scout?
Go get me a blanket. Go get me a blanket! Hey, put Put it up in the chimney. Come on, come on.
They stuffed something in the fireplace. Open that window over there.
Well, there goes our signal.
Well, if Grady saw it, maybe somebody else did.
Good work.
Mitch? How long are we just gonna hang around here? I thought we was going to the club tonight.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, it is the cocktail hour. Why don't we mix one up for him? You get me some gasoline and you get me a bottle.
You mean you're gonna burn him out?
Hey, no way, Mitch. What if you burn somebody up in there? You know, Private, I was right. You're gonna kill somebody, and I'm not gonna be around when you do it.
Look, nobody leaves until I say so.
And don't point this at me, all right?
He shot him.
No. He's breathing, but he's bleeding bad.
We gotta get him to a hospital, Mitch, fast.
Yeah? How do you propose we explain this to the police? This and everything else that happened here today. Look, he might die in the hospital anyway.
We could say it was an accident.
Yeah, what about them? They saw it all.
Yeah, I took the call from her father. Amy Vickers and J.R. Jones driving a beige two-door. I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, nothing else come in on them.
They just disappeared. Someplace between the Oak Tree Inn and the hospital, which suggests that whatever happened to them wasn't accidental.
I'd sure like to help you look for them, but I can't leave the station unmanned. We had an all-units call about 12:30. Big Diesel took out an RV. I've been here alone ever since.
Deputy, I'm grasping at straws, but did you by any chance receive any strange or somewhat unusual calls or reports during the day? Anything even a little bit out of line?
You get all kinds of calls. Yeah, look for yourself. Something you might call unusual, we might write off as a crank call or so on.
Woman sounded excited. Hung up. What was that about?
Oh, yeah. I had to put her on hold for a couple minutes, and when I got back to her, she said something about being in a cabin near Santa Carlita, and then something else about 3 men. Then she just hung up suddenly.
Just hung up, huh? Here's something else in the Santa Carlita area. Deputy Bailey radioed Forest Service re-seeing smoke in the Santa Carlita Pass area.
That's right. Jay Crawford, he's the ranger up in the tower, said he kept his glasses trained on the suspect area for about 20 minutes and drew a blank. False alarm.
I'd still like to talk to him.
I'm afraid you can't get him for about an hour now. He's out of the tower every day about this time, checking a new stand of seedlings.
What was the deputy's name who reported the smoke?
Joe Bailey. Off duty at 3.
I sure would appreciate you helping me run him down.
Oh, no. The guy they shot's dead. That means Grady's a killer now, because he didn't even try to get medical help.
And he knows we saw it.
Hey, Mitch, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get far away, another country.
You think I'm gonna spend the rest of my life on the run when I don't have to? All we have to do is take care of them and we're clean. Now go and get that cocktail.
All right, look, don't ask questions. Just go into the bedroom, get some blankets, bring them to the kitchen, okay?
Now, can I ask?
Yeah, Grady is planning a little party for us, and we're gonna put a wet blanket on it.
Fill this up. Fill up another bottle. Come on, hurry up!
I think they're going to try and do it again.
I know it, okay. Calm down. Now listen. Stay very low. They're gonna shoot at anything that moves. Go into the bedroom. Get me some pillows, a belt, a rope, anything that ties. Go on. Okay, start putting that together.
Thank you, Deputy, and I'll get back to you if I find out what the smoke was about. Can you give me a location on the Wilson cabin?
Sure. It's about 8 miles back down the highway. I'll mark it for you on the map. But even if someone's up there, building a fire in the middle of the day just doesn't make sense.
It does if they were trying to attract attention.
I'm finished. You think it'll work?
Well, it did for Sherlock Holmes in The Adventure of the Empty House.
Will you be serious?
I am serious. There's no guarantee, but there's one way to find out.
Come on. What took you so long?
I had to find a bottle.
All right, now look, I want you to throw it.
Oh, no.
All right. You want to do the shooting? All right, then you throw it, so I can be ready when they start fighting the fire. Hey, it looks like our friend Jones is getting a little bit careless.
All right, there he goes. Get ready.
Please be careful.
I will.
I got him. Now it's only the girl. Come on.
Grady, drop it, or I'll put this right through you. Don't try it, Grady. You'll never make it. Grady, give me the rifle, but first.
Hold that right there.
Just don't shoot. Please don't shoot.
tell you the truth, I hope I can find it. I'm starving.
How the two of you can think of dinner after what you've been through today is beyond me.
I can't, Betty, but I don't want to be alone tonight.
You ever think of retracing your steps?
All right. Let me see. I was holding the papers in my hand. I was talking to Amy, and she,
Oh, those papers. They're under the blotter here on your desk, J.R.
Oh, that's right.
Your desk.
Wonder why we never thought of looking on Jedediah's desk.
Isn't that funny? That's the one place we didn't look.
Okay, guys, give me a break. Amy, look, I have something to tell you. This isn't my desk. It's Barnaby's desk. I guess I just use it to get your attention.
Well, you've got it. And divided. As a matter of fact, if you don't want me around anymore, you're going to need a court injunction.
Court injunction. Well, let's see. We don't have any of those. How about dinner? Huh?